We're going to start working our way through Premiere. So I'm not on the internet. I'm not typing in the web address up here. Down at the bottom, there is a search bar. Type here to search. And I want to start typing in Premiere, P-R-E-M-I, and then it's usually going to come up. There's two versions, Adobe Premiere Rush. We're going to stay away from for right now. We're going to do Adobe Premiere Pro. Go ahead and click on that. While that's opening, so I'm going to let that open in the background. The other thing I want to do is make sure that you have a folder with your name on it on this account. So if you go to Recycle Bin, go to Documents, I have my Morgan folder, but you might need to create one. If you don't see your name here under Documents, you might need to right click, go to New Folder, and then type in your name. That way you have your folder there and you're ready to go for more of this lesson. When I get to this screen, I want to create a brand new project. This project we're going to use throughout the semester to learn different things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Project. In the project name at the top, I'm going to call this Demo. And I also want to make sure I'm in my folder. So I'm going to go to Documents and click on Morgan. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create. And we're at the point where it doesn't know what to do. It's ready to start creating our file. And in fact, I can't even really show you what these do until we add some more. So I want to, for this lesson, practice downloading some files from our network, even though I know we don't need to do that right now. But go ahead and click on our Google Classroom, media files. There's a bunch of files in here. I just want 3. I want this Arch Over the Road. So to download it, you might have a different view. Mine's in a list format, which I like, but you might have yours in a different video where you can see everything. But I do know that you can do this in whatever format that you're at. So you're looking for Arch Over the Road, and at the end or at the top of it, there's 3 dots. And I'm going to go ahead and download it. I want this Football in the Rain. There's a download button right here. I'm going to go ahead and download that. And Great Forest. I'm going to go ahead and download that as well. There might be a pop-up menu that says, do you really want to allow for multiple files? Yes, we might want to do that. So I have those 3 files downloaded. And again, just to review, they go to a downloads folder. So I have those 3 files and I want to use my control key to select all 3. So I have my control key down on my keyboard to click on these 3 files. I'm going to control X as an X-ray. That allows me to cut those files, and I want to navigate to my documents and then my Morgan folder, and I'm going to paste. I had to hit replace because I've done this before, so it's replacing all of those files that I previously used. I'm going to go back to Premiere. That's the last I have to do this. And so that's like, let's say I have these videos that I have on my screen, on my phone. I have to import them here. So I'm going to go to Import. I want to find those 3 videos that there's football, there's the great, and there should be an Arch one in here. Starting to get a little bit messy, Arch Over the Road. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Import. I have a lot of files in my folder. So it assumes that I want these 3 files. And so it has the football, and then the Great Forest, and then the Arch. And so this is the sequence that's creating my project. This is the project monitor. And I really don't like this sequence. So I'm going to actually take these 3 videos out. So I'm clicking on the top and hitting delete, top of the video and hitting delete. Some other features. We're going to build a project with 2 videos. But over here on the bottom is all of my assets that we just imported. and I want to work with football in the rain. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that video footage. So now there's a project on the left, and I just saw my project on the right. They do different things. This one on the left is called a source monitor. So it allows me to see this whole video. And I know I don't want the kids falling in the mud. I really just want where this boy comes up, kicks that ball. So I'm using my playhead to find the exact starting position. And now I want this button right here, or I can hit the I key on my keyboard. That says I want from this part to right where he kicks that ball. So I'm positioning, or you can look at the time for your reference. That's going to be my out point. I only want that section of the video. So if I drag my playhead back, yep, that's all I need. I don't need all this extra stuff. So once I get that selected, I'm going to go ahead and drag that down. You can see the video is on the V1 layer, and the audio part is on the A1 layer. And then I want to do the same thing for this arch. So I'm going to double click on this arch so I can view the source. And I want from this point right here, so that's my in point, to the end of the movie. So I'm going to go to the end and mark that O. So I want this section, and I'm going to drag this on my timeline right next to it. So I have these two videos included in, and they're shortened down. They're the shortened down versions. The last part, I want to add a transition in between. So if I move my mouse between these two and click, I get this like red line, these little braces there. That allows me to right click, apply default transition. So I don't have a choice. We'll look at those another day. But now when my videos play from one video to the next, there's a nice little dissolve transition. I'm also going to show you that I can make my timeline bigger or smaller so I can see the details of this video. Same thing over here. I can change the way this looks. If I'm really focusing on audio for some reason, I can make that bigger or smaller. If I really want to focus on the video, I can make that bigger or smaller. I can click on this dissolve, and I can make that shorter by clicking and dragging on the dissolve. Same thing down here. There's something that goes along with that as it transitions from one sound to the next. So I would want to shorten that as well. And that's starting to video edit here in Premiere. I'm going to make sure this file is saved. We already typed in demo. That's the name of the file. And then I want you to turn in a quick export. So when you're exporting, we're going to use this button up here. And I always want to make sure it's in my Morgan folder. So if I click on that, I always want to go to Documents, go to Morgan, and I'm going to call this Demo. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Save and Export. It's going to export demo.mp4. It tells you when it's done, and that's the file that you can turn in for Google Classroom today.